Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. And in today's video we are going to be talking about the chances of a possible tropical cyclone trying to get together here in the main development region in the Atlantic Basin. So what are we going to be showing here? We're going to be showing the GFS, the Euro. We're going to be taking a look at the ensembles and the sea surface temperatures for the region that the system's going to be in. And then we're going to take a look at why we're getting this. It's not necessarily a slow start. This is typically normal, but it looks like after this wave, we could see another small extended break even after this. And I'm going to show you guys why that is when we get to the EPS and the GEFS while it's towards the end. So what we're looking at right now is the GFS for 12Z. This was initialized by that time. And we're looking right in here near the Cape Verde Islands going westward. So we're going to go 24 hours out. And this blob right here that's coming off the coast, this is what we're going to be looking at here as we head out through the next 5 to 7 days. We're going to go to 48 hours out. You see it starting to bubble up here just south of the Cape Verde Islands. And then here we go at hour 60. We got a 1010 millibar system. So we're going to take a look at the soundings here. We got 9 knots of shear and 82% relative humidity, which is pretty favorable for this location. The thing is, in order for it to actually develop, we need to see it be as far south as possible as it's coming off, because the farther north it goes, not only will it have to deal with a Saharan air layer, but it has to deal with cooler SSTs as well as mid-latitude dry air. So now we're going to go out 72 hours out, and we got 1,008 millibars here, which is getting pretty close to a tropical cyclone, if not already one. We're looking at 5 knots of shear and 78% relative humidity, so this is still pretty good on this outlook here. 96 hours, we're looking at 1,001 millibars with 6 knots of shear and 73% relative humidity, so still doing pretty good. And 120 hours out, now we're looking at a 993 millibar mid-grade strong tropical storm in the central main development region. But now we're starting to get into not so favorable concepts here for the future of the system. We're looking at 12 knots shear. I mean, the 12 knots is so-so, but it's more the relative humidity that we're worried about at this point, which is 68%. So that's starting to decline. We're going to go an extra 48 hours here. So 144. We're going to take a look at the soundings here. We're looking at 31 knots of shear and 58% relative humidity. So this is definitely a no-go at this point. So we're now down to a weakening 1010 tropical depression here, and it's pretty much the same 25 knots of shear and 56% relative humidity. So the sooner the storm gets together, the better, because the farther it gets west, the less favorable conditions it's going to have for its future. So now we're going to take a look at the ECMWF, and this one is a little bit bullish until we get farther into the run. As you can see, not much really going on here. You can see our impulse right here. I don't know if you see my cursor here, but this is our impulse right here that we're going to be looking at as we head into the future. And as you can see, it's starting to get a low pressure system going, but it's taken a long time. And at this point, this is probably a tropical cyclone right here, 1,009 millibars. So now we're going to take a look at we're looking at 21 knots of shear and 59% relative humidity. So, I don't know. The Euro, ever since that 12Z run yesterday, it's really backed off from the development of the system as we head out through time. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the NOAA coral reef. Watch sea surface temperatures here, and where it's coming off. You can see where the warm, SSTs are here. We're looking at, dark, bright oranges. We're looking up all the way to 28 to 29 sea waters here where it's about to come off. So it's got plenty of water if it comes off low enough. Like say, around 15 to 12 north. That's pretty much the hot spot when it comes to the sea surface temperatures and where it needs to be. But like I said, if it comes out farther north, say around 18, 15 to 18, sure, it's going to have some warm, shelf waters here near the coast. But once you get past a little bit from the coast, it's going to get these cooler SSTs. So, like I said, if it wants any type of future, it's going to have to come off farther south. Yeah, and I do believe that's going to be the case because that's what most models are predicting it to do. So, okay, now we're going to take a look at the ensemble numbers, and this is the ECMWF or the EPS, and you can see that the numbers here are starting to really pop up here at around hour 120 or so. Obviously, it's not as strong as a signal as it once was, but it's still a pretty decent signal nonetheless. And this should stay north of the island. So as you can see, most of the members here recurve the system, and then most of them are keeping it between 20 to 30 and 30 to 40 knots. So probably a tropical depression, low end tropical storm, somewhere around there. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the GFS here. This was initialized at 12Z, and we can see that this is pretty gung-ho right from the start. There's pretty decent model support here for the system when it comes to the ensemble members. So we're just going to have to see how it all works out going forward. But like the EPS, most of the members, are staying well to the north of the islands, probably recurving. All right, so now, before we finish this off, we're going to talk about why we're not really seeing any robust activity yet. And that's because of something called wave breaking. And that's probably because of these cutoff lows right here. If you see these blues, these are cutoff lows. And what they typically do is not only do they weaken the ridge, but they send in, mid-latitude dry air. And as you can see, this, blue mark stays until 240 hours out, which is 10 days from now. But as you can see, it might be turning around here after the 10-day mark. So we're going to go out a little bit farther. And right now, after that point, we don't see any more blues. So we need the cutoff low to skedaddle. And that's probably when the season is probably going to begin. I want to say somewhere around August 20th or so. Right as the proverbial bell is being rung, that's probably when we're going to start seeing the models really pop off here. And here is the GFS ensemble plots here, and you can see the cutoff low here. Nothing new. As you can see, we got a couple of cutoff lows here, and by the same time as the EPS hour 240 10 days out, it starts to change, and we're starting to get more ridging building back in. And what that's going to do is that's going to probably it's not going to put a total stop to the mid-latitude dry air. There's always going to be some dry air around, but it could be conducive enough for activity. And we're going to go through, and it pretty much shows no wave breaking, no cutoff lows, aka the blue, members here. All right, so with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow with another update on this potential MDR system. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day.